Hey everybody, it's Jana Bresenden here, and I am continuing with my missions to share my story in raw, vulnerable, and sometimes embarrassingly real ways so that you will not alone. And I have had quite a few people ask me lately why I've started doing these missions and maybe how long they'll continue. But I first want to tell you, hey Megan, the first thing I want to tell you is a little bit about a cool first time thing that happened to me today, actually this weekend. And apparently, one of the people that's been watching the show had a friend who had to call the police this weekend on her ex husband who had been abusing her son. And of course, it's completely scary, it's completely devastating. She was afraid to go home. She's afraid to go to school. She's afraid to go to church or any of their friends' homes because he knows where they live and he knows where they go. And the person who has been watching the show said, "Why don't you guys just go to Legoland and use the tickets that you had?" And it was from mission number 9 where I said, "We get to choose." And how, when there was a fire and I was evacuated, I thought my house was going to burn down. We just packed up the kids and went to Disneyland and knew that we were going to be fine. And of course, it's a completely horrific situation. I don't want to minimize when we hear anything about abuse or anything about children. But the fact that this woman got to choose that instead of being afraid and instead of staying home and wondering if she was going to walk out and be hurt the next day, she could make a memory with her son and travel to Legoland, like that is just something so beautiful and really touched my heart. And so I wanted to share a little bit about why it is that I started sharing these stories. And it really began at the first of the year. I think a lot of you might have read my Facebook post about why I left Facebook for 2 years, about all the hurt and everything that I didn't want to share because I was too embarrassed, I was too hurt, I was too afraid. But I had a circle of women over to my house in the beginning of the year, and we were doing an exercise about what our sacred word was going to be for 2016. And as soon as the exercise came up, I had a word like sitting right here in the front of my eyeballs. And I was looking at it and thinking, no, I don't want that word. I want a nice word like adventure. I want a word like empower. I was thinking of like 24 other words I wanted besides this word. And so when it came time for people to share about what their sacred word was going to be, it was things like balance. 2016 is the year where I'm really going to live in balance. Or perfect. 2016 is where I'm just going to accept that everything in my life is going on that's perfect. And, I'm like, why couldn't I get those words? But finally, it comes to me. I try to go last because I'm hoping that I can come up with another word in the meantime. And the word that had been flashing in front of my eyes was share. So I, say the word and immediately got the response like, oh my gosh, that could be so amazing. You could share your home, you could share your time, you could share your life. And even though everyone else was really excited about it, I was like, yeah. And so you can tell, since I didn't start doing this show until September, it really took me a while to wrap my head around what share might look like as a sacred word for me. So that was really the beginning of it. And then around September, I went to a live event where we were asked to really rate the different areas of our lives on a scale of 1 to 10. How satisfied are you with like your spiritual life, your finances, your family life, your mission, your health, all these different things. And the places where I scored myself really low were 1, mission, and 2, love. And I'm not going to do the love one today because it's still really raw, but it's definitely going to be coming soon. But as far as mission, what I realized is that I have spent quite a lot of time these last 7 years trying to build a comfortable life for myself and for my kids. And there's nothing wrong with that. I was just trying to get my head wrapped around okay, I'm not going to be married to the love of my life, trying to get my head wrapped around, falling in love and getting engaged and breaking off that engagement, falling in love and getting married and breaking off that marriage, trying to just figure out what my plan. I mean, I'm not even on plan B or C right now. I'm on like H, I, J. How is this going to work out? So I have an amazing life. I have an amazing neighborhood and family and so much support and friends, but I wasn't looking really beyond that. And what I realized is that I had built a comfortable life, and that comfortable life was driving me crazy. Like, I want more than just okay for me and for my kids. I want amazing. I want adventure. I want connection. And so, me putting myself out there on these videos and sharing with you all the lessons that I've learned in reinventing myself multiple times, in being near dying and figuring out what really matters at the end of the day, and learning to let go of things that aren't important and learning to stretch myself and reach out for things that are, that stuff matters. And so I want you to know that I'm going to be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon for as long as there are people who want to listen to these stories, for as long as there are people who want to share their stories with me and have me hear them. Because I will tell you that when I have been going through the most painful times in my life, I think the thing that keeps people stuck is when you feel alone. Because it's lonely losing your best friend and feeling like nobody understands because nobody is talking about it, or they don't know how to talk about it. It gets really lonely after you've ended a marriage and you're really trying to process, how did I get here in the first place? And what do I need to do to make sure that I don't ever have to be here again? It gets lonely when you're trying to reposition yourself in the marketplace in your 40s and 50s, or, you're just trying to process stuff from when you were a kid that you want to let go now that you're a parent. I mean, and when you feel lonely, then you think no one understands, and then you get more closed up, and it's just like a never-ending circle. So my prayer and my hope is that by me being vulnerable first and sharing what has been going on with me, you'll feel empowered. If you don't want to talk to me, you don't have to, grab a friend, or even talking to a person seems like too much, just open your heart and pray, or, take a walk and tell the air, this is how I feel and this is what's going on. And I truly believe that when you share those stories, you open up yourself to the possibility of change, of more love and more connection. And I want to be a part of that. So I just want you to know that I am going to be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon until nobody shows up, and until nobody leaves a comment, until nobody sends me an email or sends me a private message to tell me that they're grateful that I'm here, or that they have a story that they want to share. And what I'm hoping is that at the end of this, we will all feel more connected, more alive, more adventurous, able to grab on to, every part of life that we possibly can, and that we'll get to do it together. So I did want to let you know that on Wednesday at noon, I'm going to be traveling. And so I think I'm going to broadcast a little bit early, like at 11 a.m. So that you'll still, get to hear from me. But as always, if you ever have a story that you want to share, reach out to me. hello@janabressenden.com is my email. You can private message me. You can leave me a message in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Bye.